Welcome to the 21st edition of Group Exhibit Hydrogen, Fuel Cells and Batteries. I invite you to come and have a seat, drinks on the house. We have a great discussion coming up. My name is Andrea, and today we will discuss with SFC Energy. Please help me welcome the VP Consumer and Industry Business at SFC Energy, Mr. Andrea Alboni. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation.
Well, today we'll discuss about direct methanol fuel cells, energy solution for backup and off-grid application in the wind industry up to 5 kilowatt. But before we get into this, for those that are not familiar with SFC Energy, although I would be very surprised to hear so because you're so well known in the industry, could you give us just a quick overview of what SFC is all about?
Well, SFC is the world leader in DMFC fuel cells, so direct methanol fuel cell. We work, SFC was founded in year 2000, and since 2002 we have products on the market. Since today we have about 33,000 fuel cells already sold, so active in the market, in different kind of markets. We work in the defense market, in industrial market, and in consumer market.
When you say industrial market is a very large word, and it encompasses many different sub-industries. Could you give us more details? What involvement do you have in the industrial market?
Well, you're right. Industrial market is a very broad term, let's say, and the key markets, the key segments where we are active into are traffic, so traffic signs and traffic management systems, on-board, so vehicle-based solution, as here in Germany is well-known BAG, Bundesamt für Güterverkehr. We announced yesterday the new fleet will be again with the Efoil Pro fuel cell on board. So it's a big trust that BAG puts on in our product, in our technology, and in our organization. Other markets are surveillance, really important for us. Mobile surveillance solution or semi-stationary like CCTV on trailers or mobile applications. And of course is the wind market. Since at least 5 years, we are active in the wind market in many sub-segments.
So there's 2 points I want to touch there. First of all, you just mentioned that there was a big announcement yesterday about the extra fleet. Can you give us more details? How big of a fleet are we looking at, and over how much time will it take before it gets fully accomplished or put into operation?
The fleet that we announced yesterday, the PO that we announced yesterday, is about 306 vehicles, and we with the 306 fuel cells, and is already the third time that we provide our fuel cells to BAG, and basically we help BAG to be longer in a parking area or on the German highways to do their job, to control the trucks and the goods working. Flowing on the German highways, and before that they just use batteries, changing batteries every 2 months with really high costs and operative costs. So what we now give them is the possibility to be active for a long time with low operative costs.
So if we were to compare over the traditional battery-operated fleet vehicles, what would be the difference? Like how much like the timing or the difference in cost? Like it must work great if it's the third time they come to you for this solution.
I give an example. Before SFC and before BAG decided to get our technology into their vehicles, they could be on the road for about, let's say, 3, 4, 5 hours. And then they had to drive in order to recharge the battery, maybe to go to the deposit, what they usually don't want to do because it's a loss of time. And with our technology, they can drive out on the highway, stay there for also 8 hours. It's not limited by the fuel cell. It's limited by German rules about working time, and then they can, let's say, optimize their time on the road and optimize their job, basically.
So it's a win-win situation, there's no doubt. But
Exactly.
Just earlier, you mentioned also that you're quite involved in the wind technology, and that SFC provide product for that industry. And it's quite different than what we've heard so far, or a lot about this week, which is basically that wind energy have this extra power that needs storage. What SFC Energy offers to the wind industry is totally different. What is it?
Totally different. And let's talk about the customers. I think the customer for us is always the most important part of our value chain. So at the end there is the customer and there is the customer need, and we have different kind of customers in the wind energy system, in wind energy market. One type of customer is in the wind measurement. If you want to measure the wind before you decide if a certain location is correct for a wind park, then you have to measure it for a time between 3 and 12 months, and you need power. It's about 70 watt continuously. You can choose to use batteries or generators, diesel generators, maybe solar systems, but each of these solutions has a limitation. And if you lose 1 day in data in 1 year of campaign, then you lose a lot of money. Because your data package has less value. So what we give them is the possibility to have 24 hours a day electricity for their application. So it's really a big advantage. Another solution or another segment in the wind market is represented by the temporary backup for wind turbines. In onshore market, as soon as you erect the installation of the turbine, you need aviation lights. Those aviation lights are again in a power range of about 70 watt, so it's perfectly within our power range, and they need electricity for a long time and reliable electricity. And also
there's a safety concern, right?
Is the safety concern, and it's let's say also there is a cost concern, because they can also use diesel generator. One diesel generator in that case would give you operational costs about, let's say, 2,000 euros in 3 weeks. With our fuel cell, it's about 100 euros of operating cost in 3 weeks. So it's
we're talking 20-fold reduction here.
More or less, yes.
That's quite a feat, actually. But we often hear that people are reluctant. As much as we tend to say that, yeah, I want new technologies, we all have a little bit of a fear in our bellies and gut that makes us reluctant to accept new technologies, except if there's great advantages that pushes us towards it, like in this case where you have your operating costs for the lighting and the wind industry. When you have a 20-fold change, you just want to dive right in, and that's what you've seen. Like the wind industry is really picking up and want your product. It hasn't been hard convincing them.
Well, the wind industry has many advantages for us, and is a really structured market, so we can achieve a certain penetration, let's say, is not easy, but it's easier to do it. But at the end of the day, the most important concept is that we are not selling fuel cells alone. Also, as a group, as a SFC group, we developed ourselves in order to give to the customer a complete solution. They don't want fuel cell, they don't want solar panels, they just want to be sure of being able to use a certain application. It could be CCTV, it could be BAG, it could be sensors, it can be metering sensor, everything. They want to be sure that they are able to use it as long as they want. It's like an insurance, let's say. And in the wind market and in the other markets, so at the end of the day, we are providing less operational costs. And it's the same thing that we want to do now with the new product.
Yeah, and I think it's important that we mention this new product as part of the main reason we're here to kind of announce that usually in your market, SFC Energy has been in lower range fuel cell, and you're now introducing something bigger that will maybe touch more markets or solution. Can you give us more information about that?
Yes, the Efoil Pro 12,000 Duo is a 500 watt fuel cell DMFC. So the same technology that we always use in the past for a power that was limited till 110 watt or 130 watt. Now we want to scale up and we will do a little jump till 500 watt. And 500 watt is, we want to follow this way, this development, because we see on the market need for this kind of power.
Where do you see the need for 500 watt DMFC?
Well, 500 watt is basically for in the wind industry, for wind measurement, for a certain kind of wind measurement can be interesting for a certain kind of security surveillance applications, for vehicle-based solutions, so other type of vehicles, emergency vehicles, for telecommunication, and for wind, we will need to cluster it up. So 500 watt is just a module. We can cluster up to 10, 12 DMFC modules in order to get the 5 kilowatt.
That is required in those applications. I want to remind everybody this is a public forum, so please feel free to raise your hand. I'll come down with a microphone and you can ask whatever question you may have to Mr. Alboni. You could also meet him at his booth, which is just located behind us over there at B70 after the interview. And I want to come back to the SFC. In my opinion, SFC Energy is a little bit of a successful story. If we compare from 5 years ago, there's been quite a bit of growth. Can you walk us through SFC's success story?
Yes, in the last 5 years, we reached about 42% of growth, and was organic and non-organic, means that SFC Energy as a company decided to be more wide as a group. We wanted not to provide to our customers just fuel cells, because near DMFC there is always a battery. There is always a battery, there is an enclosure, there is a power management solution or system. So it's important for SFC, in order to be successful on the market, to meet customer needs. It means we have different integrated solution. We have the Efoil Pro Cube, we have the Efoil Energy Box, it goes till minus 40 degrees. We have the Efoil Cabinet developed by our company in Canada. And this development of the group means acquiring PBF Group in Holland. They are specialized in power management, and acquiring Cymer Controls in Calgary, and it gives us the possibility to offer the complete experience to the customer.
And we're unfortunately running out of time, but I want one last question. You mentioned various Efoil branded product just a few minutes ago, but there's one that you just released that is the Efoil Go, I believe.
Yes, the Efoil Go is...
What is the Efoil Go?
Basically, as a company, as a strategy, we want to develop our offer in two directions. One is the industrial market. We want to develop the higher range, the higher power range, like the Efoil Pro 12,000 Duo. And for the consumer market, we want to go more active, not just on RV, sitting comfortable in an RV, but the Efoil Go wants to go in outdoor, and is a battery, is a lithium iron phosphate battery with integrated a inverter, 400 watt, and with integrator our technology on the power management level. So you can go camping, you can go doing photography, photo shooting on a mountain for 8 hours, and you have electricity.
It's a portable power pack in some ways.
It's a portable plug.
I see. Well, if you want to find more information about the portable plug, you're welcome to go see Mr. Alboni at his booth, which is behind us at B70. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you, Mr. Alboni, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for having you. And stay right with us. We have more. We'll be discussing with Areva, H2 Gen, strategic reinforcement of PEM electrolyzer manufacturer. Thanks again for your time, and we'll see you soon.